Not changing is killing you. If change is overwhelming, painful, and even something that you don't really want to do, then you're probably just wasting your life. There's a weird tendency as creators and as a society where we think that we have to stay in our lane or basically just study something and become a professional in that which we studied. And it's not particularly the case for almost anybody. If you're already in your 30s or 40s, you'll probably notice that most of the things that you studied when you were 20 years old or even a little bit older are not exactly the things that you're a professional at the moment, and you're probably not working in that field. And that's okay. It's part of our human nature to be changing and in constant evolution. But I've experienced in my life since I've been on Instagram that I have to make my Instagram as perfect as possible, and that I have to niche down, and I have to understand and exactly what the people are following me for, and think that if I change, then probably the people that are following me are going to unfollow me. So let's take, for example, nature photographers. It's a very easy example that I use because it's something that you can relate to. What if you're a nature photographer and you decide that you have to move from the city because life reasons, family, business, or whatever, and wherever you move to, you cannot go out into nature and take photos? Then what happens to your Instagram and to your creation? And then you're gonna feel frustrated because most of the things that you are doing right now are going to have to change. And that's a change that might start impacting your mental health just because you had to move from a place that you were usually at. And if you stop posting stuff just because you feel that nature photography, for example, is not something that you want to keep pursuing, or is not giving you the fulfillment that you thought that was going to give you, then you start feeling stagnant because you're not posting, and things are just not flowing. And maybe you're even losing followers because you're not posting it about anything, or you started a new hobby about pottery and cutlery or whatever, and you want to post about that. But why do we fear that change? Why do we fear that we cannot start posting about the new stuff that we like just because we have to stick to some type of script on our life? It just doesn't make sense. This happens a lot. This has happened to me so many times that I cannot even count. Will my followers get mad at me? Will they start unfollowing me just because I started posting about something new? Will my parents say something about my new career path just because I decided that whatever it is that I started studying, it's just not something that I vibe with anymore? I studied architecture. I worked a year as an architect and I didn't like it. It was just not something that I wanted to keep pursuing. That was 6 years of my life that I wasted in studying, but it's not a waste. It's something that gives you experience. While I was studying architecture, I learned photography, and I started working as a photographer for somewhere around 10 years, and even so, I still keep doing some freelance photography, and also learned video just because subsequently it started to be something that it's more appealing for my clients. So I became a videographer. Later, I started learning 3D, I started learning coding, I started learning about illustration, and now I do tons of illustrations, even for my NFT projects or for stuff that I enjoy doing. And it's stuff that gives me a lot more peace of mind, and it's just something I enjoy. But did I lose my years as an architect? Not really. I learned a lot. Even so, right now my illustrations are very architectural based, and my 3D knowledge comes mostly from architecture and a little bit of digital animation. But right now, after all that struggle and all that change, I take little to no time thinking what will people think about the changes that I'm going through or the changes that I do. Learn, change, implement, and iterate, and then go back again. Every experience that you're living right now is going to impact whatever it is that you're going to do in the future. So if you're feeling like everything in your past has been a waste of time, it hasn't, because you're here right now and you can make the changes to whatever future you actually want to be at. It's just about taking the steps towards that and understanding that the present is the most important time, and you're going to be closer if you start working on it right now. You are not a singular creator of one singular thing in life. Just because your parents became the most successful lawyers or the most successful doctors and they did that throughout their whole life, it doesn't mean that you have to keep pursuing your same life path from start to end for the rest of your life. In my experience and throughout the things that I've learned in my life, ideally, in order to stand out and to actually be a unique individual, you have to start having new experiences that are going to create a stack of skills that are going to leverage you into the new creation or the new person that you're going to be. I see life as jumping through wagons. So you're going to follow the life path of different creators that already created these wagons that are going to take you from A to B. But eventually there's going to be a path that nobody has crossed, and that wagon is going to stop over there. That is when you start creating your own path with all the wagons that you already jumped through. This place is exactly where you are going to start paving the road for more people that are going to understand your point of view, your perspective, and all the life path that you took in order to get to that new place. So you start paving the road for other wagons to go through your life path, and eventually somebody is going to start paving the next road for the next different route that they're going to take. And that's okay. Let's say, for example, what sounds better? I'm a chef, or I'm a chef that designs my own knives and even make all the plates where you're going to eat. So the experience of food is going to be exactly and perfectly aligned to my goals in order for you to experience the food that you're going to eat in the perfect and exact way that I want it to. It sounds a lot better than just I'm a chef. Many people just go through the route of, hey, yeah, I'm gonna do this because this is gonna give me money. And then there's other people that do this because, oh, this is going to give me money, but this is the point of view that I want to give people and the experiences that I want to give people in order to make them as fulfilling as possible and as amazing as possible. This is exactly how I feel about adopting new things. For me, it's all the experiences that I've already had and all the teachings that came with learning new skills, with learning 3D, animation, coding, all this to eventually create products and create teachings for people who are coming along the way that might need my experience and my unique perspective in order to understand their world and their creations. But why do we fear the uncertain? It's actually pretty easy to understand. Being in the comfort zone is a lot easier than actually going out there and making something new or jumping in the water. It's just human nature. But nothing worth having is going to be easy, right? Staying in the comfort zone is only going to delay your growth. Eventually, with stagnation, you're going to feel low on energy because you feel that people are growing a lot more than you and are doing a lot more stuff than you, but it's only because they have started jumping in the water. They understand that being the person that they are right now is probably not as fulfilling as they want it to be. So in discomfort, they understand that there's going to be change in their lifestyle. Things will definitely start feeling weird when you decide to go into a different direction. And it's always going to be uncomfortable, but it's in that discomfort that you're going to find yourself in the survival mode. And in that survival mode, you start learning more skills and becoming more aware of the things that you're doing, and therefore wanting to do more to become a better version of yourself. There is nothing, absolutely nothing wrong in changing directions, and don't let absolutely anybody tell you the opposite. Nobody is going to be accountable for your actions. No one is waiting for you to fail. The only one that's putting that in your head is yourself. And if you actually fail, that's the only way to actually understand the highs and the lows. There's not going to be light if there's no darkness. And the same thing happens with success and failure. In order to feel successful, you actually have to feel failure, and you're actually going to have to understand the highs and the lows in order to compare them and be there in success mode and actually feel accomplished with the things that you're learning. So you have to fail. There's no other way to success if you don't feel failure. So with all this rant and everything that I've talked about, there's only one thing that I want to leave you with, and it's this: there is no light without darkness, there is no joy without pain, and there is no success without failure. So if you actually listened to everything that I said, I appreciate you very much for being here, and let me know if this actually vibed with you. This is the new space that I want to keep on using, because I found the exact lighting spot, the exact microphone place, and all the background and everything, just because I want you to have a better visual experience of me talking. And yeah, hopefully I can see you all on the next video. Appreciate you very much, and thank you for being here.